But to be honest, I think sometimes when you're in the position of, let's say, for lack of a better word, power, right? When you, well, no, not power, privilege. That's a better word. When you're in the position of privilege, because all of us sit in positions of privilege to some degree, right? And we don't necessarily have to take the time to think about how others feel or what situations they're in because we're not in the minority in that sense. So I can understand that even though like he was the first one that we're aware of that coined that term, I also can respect him for doing that in a sense of if I claim one, I deny the other side of myself, right? And I think a lot of times we took that to mean, oh, he's trying to act like he's not black. But I really do believe it is a way of him to acknowledge both aspects of who he is. And a lot of times in society, we do try to cut off aspects of ourselves in order to fit in the bigger part of society, like how we talk about men not being able to have emotions. They literally have to cut that side of themselves off to fit in a bigger society that as Americans we men are not supposed to be uh have emotions or be emotional. So I do respect the fact that he was trying to lead the way, not intentionally, but lead the way in saying I'm accepting all of who I am. I'm black and I'm Asian. I'm not going to deny one part for the other. This is who I am. Either love me or hate me. And I can respect that.
And well, the reason I asked, I was looking in the chat, and again, it was extremely lively. We appreciate the participation to the chat, but I was looking through it, and there's about four people going back and forth about Kamala's heritage and lineage and the whole nine. And when if you go back far enough, you find out that on her father's side there's Irish. But does that part really even matter when he is truly more like a, from my perspective, when I look at him, I see more Afro Jamaican than anything when I look at him. I mean, me being honest about it. Even though she never really leaned into that side, that she can't deny that side either. So, and I'm curious, and the reason for the question is because I became curious. Am I being personally too hard on her because she's just now starting to really claim that side? We know she tried to lean into it. That's why she went to an HBCU to try to get into that side of her. If I had to say why she chose to be an HBCU, she wanted to likely tap into that side. Uh, and I, I I personally believe that she likely felt like she didn't really belong anywhere, and she's just trying to find her place. So that was the question why I was like, maybe I'm being too hard on her, and I'm willing to concede that, which is why I asked the entire panel, should that person be allowed to move through those spaces as they choose?
I think y'all using the word fluid, right? That's the new term.
That's the word.
I think in that regard, she is allowed to be fluid. Not just her. I think anybody who is of multiracial has the ability and should be able to do that. Like I know like my uncle, he is Puerto Rican and he did not teach his kids Spanish because he wanted them to assimilate as American, right? So you need to learn English. But in that, moving forward now, them having the ability to be bilingual would have been a benefit. But of his age group, being older, it was seen as something that would make their lives harder. So he wanted to ensure that they knew how to speak English and only English. But imagine if there was a culture in which knowing both of those aspects of who they are, being Black and being Puerto Rican, being able to speak Spanish and meshing those kind of cultures together to make them feel comfortable in who they are. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of times people are so quick to judge others, place people in categories. You got to choose, you got to choose. You know what I'm saying? That they end up never being able to really be the person who they are when we're talking about knowledge of self. They lack knowledge of self because I can't be completely knowledgeable of who I am unless I'm able to explore all of who I am. So just saying I have to be Indian or I have to be Black or I have to be this when you're multiracial, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
It's being in
Yeah,
the room. I think you gave, pardon me, I think you gave Tiger Woods a pass. He was in rooms when he became the athlete.
Mhm.
Everybody bought Tiger Woods apparel. He was winning at like a crazy rate, and he was getting contracts left and right. He was in them rooms with those people that knew that you couldn't identify with your black side, and he played the game like a lot of them do. They're not going to throw away their money. But then it toes that line of, okay, are you putting your dignity a dollar above your dignity? But he was never in that position per se until you got caught cheating. Girl, crazy chasing you with the club, you crashing into stuff. Then you want the appeal of running back home. That's the same thing like a Candace Owens. You understand? You wasn't with us until the daily was it the daily wire or wherever you was. You went and said what you said, and they politely said your services are no longer needed here. Now you're placating on Power 105, and you don't even know one of the staples within our community. God is good. She's there. Yeah, what's the rest of it? Don't come on home when it's convenient, even though you talk sweet about certain things. You're playing to the choir now, right? But she's not the only one. I remember when Hillary Clinton came up with the hot sauce in her bag. I think it's part of the game now. It's disgusting. I didn't like the thing Kamala said, oh, greens in the bathtub. I wouldn't eat no damn greens if you doing no damn bathtub and washed it like that.
hell no.
I didn't I, I didn't I didn't get the reference to that. I was like, ill. Because I know what I do with that. Nah, good for that.
No, you go get yourself a 2 5 gallon bucket to make it happen. Quit playing. Quit playing.
Exactly.